Hi folks, this is Mike, Gray 1951, and sorry if this video is a little bit dark. The lighting here is just so bright that I'm having trouble getting the image the way I want it, but anyway, it's me. I wanted to do a video showing you some gifts that I got from my friend Dave Caney. When he came up here to visit me a few weeks ago, he brought me a stack of books and some DVDs as well, and I'm sorry I didn't do this earlier. I really appreciate Dave's friendship and his generosity, so I'd like to show you what he got me. Dave, if you are watching this, and I hope you are, thanks again. So I'd like to give you a very public YouTube thank you for the gifts you brought me. Okay, Dave knows how much I love old Hollywood, that I have a real obsession with it, so he got me several books reflecting that particular obsession. And the first one is this autobiography by the classic silent film star Lillian Gish. It's called The Movies, Mr. Griffith and Me. And she tells the story of her life, how she got into films when they were just called the flickers back in the 1910s, and how she became a star when she was discovered by D.W. Griffith in films like The Birth of a Nation and Intolerance and Way Down East. And I'm looking forward to getting into that. This book is beautiful, really a beautiful book, a lot of illustrations as well. And keeping with the theme of old Hollywood, he also brought me this book about the American actress Grace Kelly. And this is a beautiful little book, just loaded with photographs. I mean, just talking about her career in films. It has a lot of still photographs from the films that she was in, as well as behind the scenes photographs. And this pretty much covers her life, everything that she did before she became, you know, the Princess of Monaco. To me, the princess thing is not nearly as interesting as the actress. So thanks again for that. He also brought me this book, Creature Features Movie Guide Strikes Again, okay? And I have an earlier version of this, and this is even better because it's about 3 times as thick. But this is one of those books that you can just read A to Z and find out all kinds of cool information about horror films, science fiction, cult films, and the kind of book that you want to keep right next to your side table where you watch TV, so you can get a quick reference whenever you need it. So that's cool. He also got me this book. It's called Picture Show, and it's from the Turner Classic Movies Archives, and it's a collection of classic movie posters, a whole bunch of really fantastic illustrations, a lot of posters and things that you remember, well, that I remember growing up, and very beautiful book. And finally, he got me this book called Cult Horror Films, which is, I mean, this is just right up my alley. This is wonderful. It just has kind of a cross-section of horror films, sci-fi, cult films, things like Astro Zombies, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, just all kinds of stuff, loaded with illustrations and reviews of the films and behind-the-scenes information, talking about the cast and crew. And I love books like this. This is so cool. So those are the books he got me. And he brought me these DVDs as well. This one is The Story of the Ramones, the rock group, which is very nice to have because I'm a huge fan of the Ramones. Then Dave also brought me these books that he copied or downloaded, and these are all Asian horror films. I'm turning into an Asian horror film freak, and Dave is my resident expert on this particular kind of movie, and I think he has a huge collection of Asian horror films. So I'm just learning, I'm just starting out. But he brought me several things. This one is called Whispering Corridors. This is a Korean film. He also brought me The Eye and The Eye 2. And here's one called The Phone. And this one is called A Tale of Two Sisters. All right? So thank you very much. I'm looking forward to getting into all of these. Okay, finally I want to show you one book that I bought myself recently, and I think this is the only thing that I bought that I haven't shown people. This is a book about the MGM back lot, okay? That was probably one of the most famous back lots in Hollywood history. It was like a city unto itself. All those illusions on illusions, the city streets that they built, the farms, the Andy Hardy set, all kinds of things. And it has endless illustrations about how the property, when it was first acquired, when everything was just a bunch of orange groves, and they started building, and MGM became one of the largest and most powerful studios in Hollywood history. So it has all this information that shows some of the legendary actors from MGM as they were working on these sets, and it also shows how it began to deteriorate in later years. And finally, they started selling everything off in the 1970s. And at the time, I remember some of the actors who were under contract to MGM when they were young, they tried to convince the owners of MGM to turn this whole thing into a theme park, so that it's sort of like Universal City. People would come to Hollywood and be able to walk around and look at this stuff, but I guess they decided it wasn't worth it, and everything had deteriorated too much, so they just tore it down, took the money and ran. So it's kind of sad. Anyway, okay, so that's my little update. Once again, thank you to my friend Dave Koenig, and comments are welcome. See you later.